today we're going to talk about line contour drawing. And what that is where you look at your hand and you do not look at your piece of paper when you are drawing it. So usually you have your hand off to the side or whatever object that you're doing. And then it is all about your eye moving and then your marker or your pencil that you're drawing with. And you don't go back and make nice details and color it in and all that. So right now we're just focusing on the study of the placement of where things are going through. So as my eye is following this point, I will be drawing the shapes of the knuckles, the details in here, where the fingernail is, and then work my way up and around this. If I was doing a shoe, I could either start at the front of the shoe or the back of the shoe, and I would work around and then get the placement for the eyelets of, and then the shoestrings, and then even the tongue of the shoe, and then through all this. So it's about coordination of watching as you go, but you're not looking at your piece of paper. So it does take a little bit longer, but the better at this, the more details you can add. And it's about patience also. So a lot of people rush through it and then they're like, haha, look at what I did. This is about spending your time on it and making sure that you're putting all the details in. And when you first start, they're not going to look that great. And then as you get better at this and the more you practice, then you can start drawing and even writing on a piece of paper, looking at something else, and then it's still going in a straight line. It's about knowing the placement on your paper, also your sketchbook, your canvas, whatever you're on. So let's get started, and I'm just going to start a few. So I'm going to be looking over here at my hand and not my piece of paper. But what I'm going to do is try and find the placement of my pencil, and I'm using a marker today, but with the edge of my paper, so I know where I'm at when I start drawing. So if you have even a sketchbook or something, that helps you because you have that outside border. And I'm going for the same size of the object. That way I'm following through, and as I'm doing that, it's a little bit easier for the same size right now. Then you could work on making things larger or smaller. So let's get started. So I'm going to start at the bottom here, and remember, I'm not looking at my paper because it's called blind contour drawing. So I'm looking at only my object. I'm blind to the paper. I do? Well, I did get the knuckle placements of things. I did make the palm of my hand a little bit smaller, but for doing the first one, I'd say it's not too bad. And this was just my hand facing downwards. So let's try this one. And this one is just a little bit more difficult because I'm going to have to get all these lines going in and out, and then the angle of my thumb. So let's try it here. So I'm going to start at the bottom and then kind of just work my way through it. Let's make it to where my fingernails are all showing. And then I have my thumb up here. And I'm not looking at my piece of paper again. Where should I start? Okay, starting right in this area. So I'm starting at that palm part. Apparently I drew rather small at this one and was kind of squishing everything together. So notice that it's not perfect right now, but I haven't done this for a few days or months, and so it's just going to take some practice of me getting better. but I needed to work on how wide I was making things when I was drawing this. So let's just do this one and see how I go with. So I'm gonna look over here again and try and find the placement here. So let's start here. How did I do on this one? Well, you can kind of tell that it's two fingers making the peace sign. That one kind of looks like a little person's head, actually, like a little finger person. And you can kind of tell I have my thumb. Apparently I put my thumbnail in a different position, but it's just about practicing doing these. So another one, let's do just where I have my thumb through it this way. So this would be, or let's do the I love you sign. I'm going to just kind of draw up here. So I'm starting at the palm of my hand again. Got that fold, start with the pinky. I love you sign in blind contour drawing. So practice these with the different hand poses. So you could do the sign language of like the letter L, A, this would be the letter T, or I got your nose. So those are different ones to be practicing. And then you could move on to drawing your shoe in blind contour drawing people that way. And it's all about focusing on what you're doing. Another type is blind contour memory. So whereas blind contour, you're looking at the object and just drawing on your piece of paper, this time you're just going to close your eyes and think of the object and draw it on your piece of paper. So this one's a little bit trickier because you need to memorize and think of all those little tiny details when you have your eyes closed. So let's get started, and I will draw something. So let's see how I did. I was going for a palm tree with some coconuts. So I was rushing through this just a little bit. I slowed down. I could probably get the palms a little bit clearer. So let's try another one. This one was of a dog sitting down, so that's its back feet and there's its paws. So I'm doing these rather fast, but if I would really think about those details of, say, I have a pet dog, then I could think of, okay, where is his ear normally fall, what angle, how does the dog normally sit. You could draw a dog laying down, your pet cat. You could think of even other animals. So if you did, let's go with, let me find my paper placement here. Okay, so what I was thinking was a giraffe, so I was getting the legs in a decent amount in length. What I was doing was, when I was drawing, I was also thinking of, okay, I moved my hand down this much but wasn't lifting it up. So when I did the other one, I was doing the same thing, and then scooted over and was thinking about how far I was going down when I was doing these of the movement. And then, of course, giraffes are known for spots, which some of these are off. This kind of looks like a little hyena head instead. So I guess it could be a combination of giraffe, hyena, which is a rather interesting thing. You could go to, let's start down here, and I will just do, let's see. Supposed to be a sports car. You can see I was trying to do the little rims and everything, so if I wasn't rushing quite as much, I would have gotten things more in the placement. So these take a little bit longer just because you need to think of the details when you're doing them. So line contour is where you're closing your